I offered our reporters, in fact our photographers, R1 million for a picture of him before he came out of jail. I thought they could find somebody. Perhaps Winnie would give us a picture or something. Nothing. Nobody ever gave us a picture. Anybody else, I'm sure we could have got the picture. So the interest in him globally was absolutely amazing. And meeting him for the first time was, well, I suppose like meeting a movie star. I first met Mandela in Cape Town, shortly after he'd come out of prison. And then 6 months later, I met him again, this time in Johannesburg. But I had to stand in a long queue. It was at the French ambassadors, or could have been the High Commissioners, English High Commissioners, British High Commissioners. And when I finally got to him, I said, Peter Sullivan from the Star. And he said to me, yes, he said, we met in Cape Town 6 months ago. He said, you've probably forgotten, I'm Nelson Mandela, he said. And there was one guy at the Star who said to me, sort of real pommy, who said, oh, I'm not interested. Oh, I don't care who I meet. Oh, I don't want to meet our president. I don't want to meet the Prime Minister in London, you know. As he walks around, who does Mandela stop at? This one desk, of all the desks at all the Star. And he says to the chap, hello. The chap just sort of goes, hello, Mr. President. He said, oh, I'm so honored to meet you. And Mandela says, no, he said, it is my honor. He said, I will not wash this hand for 2 weeks. I went to breakfast and I was waiting there, and breakfast was like 9:30, and it was now 2 minutes past 9:30, and out came Zelda with a phone and said, there's a call for you. I said, oh, sorry, I took it, yes. Peter, I am in the car, only 10 minutes away. I'm just phoning to say I'm really sorry that I am late. Didn't get his secretary to talk to me, didn't get the driver to talk to me. I mean, who of us would sit in a car, we're 10 minutes late for a breakfast, would bother to phone ourselves, talk to the person and say, I'm 10 minutes late. You know, I mean, I would have waited for an hour and been quite happy. In fact, with some of the current government, you'd wait for 2 hours and you'd be happy, you know. Maybe you wouldn't be quite so happy to see them. But certainly with Mandela, you would wait forever. I've known, I would say, about 100 presidents and heads of state. I've gone to sort of Davos for the last 12 years, and there are 40 of them there every time. He is the most extraordinary man, as everybody knows. And from the minute you meet him, he's extraordinary. And he never changes. He just remains being extraordinary, doing amazing things. In Davos, we'd had a hell of a party the night before. It was 6 o'clock in the morning and my phone went, and I kept pushing it off thinking it was just an alarm. I was sort of, had 2 hours sleep. And I suddenly realized it was ringing, and I answered it and I said, yes. And the sort of familiar voice said, Peter, how are you? I said, yes, I'm fine, you know. And he said to me, you know, there's a story on page 3 today where you say I was given 500,000 rand, but it was actually 5 million. Please, will you correct it? And I said to him, you know, Madiba, I'm in Switzerland. It's 6 o'clock in the morning here. And he laughed and he said, isn't technology wonderful? Mandela will become a saint. He will be very much like Gandhi. People will walk in his footsteps. Wherever he's been, whatever he's touched, will become sort of icons, which is exactly what he doesn't want. What he really wanted was for people to remember what he stood for. In the same as Gandhi. I'm sure Gandhi didn't want to be a saint. Gandhi wanted everybody to believe in passive resistance if you want something. No violence. I think Mandela wants everybody to believe in reconciliation. But in order to be reconciled, sometimes you have to be punished, and sometimes you have to do good deeds, and sometimes you have to do all sorts of other things. But unfortunately, whatever you want doesn't happen in this world. And what will happen is he will be elevated to a saint, and people will think that everything he said was wonderful and fantastic, and they'll only remember the good things.